Hello, my name is Cheyenne Schwinn, and I am here in April on month 8 for sprint 1 through 2. This is, as I said, April, month 8. My professor is Gerard. I'm sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Gerard Merritt, and I am a remote student from Illinois, online from the Full Sail campus. Um, My total work hours completed this sprint was 50 hours and 20 minutes, and the hours completed within this month at the moment is 50 hours. My monthly expected hours are 100. My achievements this sprint was that I created new narrative without inspiration from other games. It came all from my mind right in that moment. I used my personal knowledge and creativity to make lines for environmental dialogue, and interactive dialogue between the characters and the player. The objectives were to come up with original and stylized dialogue for passive conversation, world event reactions, and open world interactive dialogue for the player to feel the personalities within the NPCs that are interacted with. So, not that you're like talking to a robot. Obviously, you are, but you want to sort of get a feeling of like, this is a real situation, and you have some real people that you're talking to. Your actions have consequences, and the future of these people may be in your hands. So the issues that I had was that I had to get used to a new schedule of the current class. It was different than how a lot of the other classes were ran. Um, the amount of time spent on the work is heightened because I don't really understand how to do a lot of producer stuff, and I've never used Microsoft Project before. I mean, I think I had an idea of how to use it, but I never really got into it very deeply. I've only learned how to use Jira in like actual management software for projects. Um, Other than personal class issues, nothing else had any issues. Um, for time management, it's become a little difficult because of the care needed in the current class. I'm not a producer, as I said, and it has gotten difficult for me to actually get into someone else's shoes and do their job and understand their job from their viewpoint because of just skills that I don't actually fully have when it comes to being a producer, because I have managed my own projects before, but I know how to use templates, and I learned how to use Jira and all that. Uh, so that's sort of the most that I understand. I used Trello before, um, so that's what I used to use for my own personal projects. Um, So pretty much I have lost a few hours of sleep, as I mentioned in the slide here. So managing my time has become a managing crunch of hours now, instead of managing it throughout the week, just because of how much time I have to put into the coursework lately. So, week 1 was narrative. I took on some narrative work and created these wonderful little lines. I wrote universal narrative that it could be used between both narrative text boxes, interactable NPCs, or even used as passerby and interactive voice lines in the game later by the player hearing the environment and by them speaking with an NPC and interacting with the world around them. On week 2, I did narrative editing. So, as you can see on the left, there's a raw narrative there. I thought it was Pearl Harbor. I don't know if Fort Smith is the same thing as Pearl Harbor. I don't know a lot of World War stuff, so it was a little difficult to try to figure out the geography of it. So I fixed that. They will regret disturbing the hornet's nest. I added some things and removed some things, as you can see on that fourth line there. Upper deck is burning. We got to get moving. I changed it to Uh, the whole top is burning. We got to get moving. Um, I may, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I'm not exactly sure which one's the edited and which one's raw. I thought I knew. I'm pretty sure the one on the right is edited. No, yeah, that is it. I don't know how those got mixed up, but anyway. Basically, I just changed some things. As you can see over in the, let's see, where is it? On the line that says you smell something burning, or is it just me? Um, that was changed from that, so I also got rid of a little bit of that. So all of these lines are subject to change. However, maybe you like the raw one better, maybe you like the edited one better. I have to talk with the team, and later on, whenever we add those in, we could choose between a bunch of them. That's why I content dump. So we have choices, and we can take in or out or add things whatever we want, and whenever we want. Whatever and whenever we want. So I edited the narrative that was written to better categorize the lines, and I also added and altered some lines. I have a little more to go through and may write a few more. So then now we have the instructions and the conversation with the project lead. I asked some questions with how he wants this done, and we were able to get an idea of what we wanted for the different areas. I haven't gotten super far into it yet. I only have lines that are in Camp Smith and the oil rig. So I still have to go through that and work on getting that done as well. So that will also be in the next sprint too. But I created open world narrative lines so that can be used in areas that are they are made for, and that are areas that the player can go to and that the NPCs can be interacted with. It's also in the future able to be used for multi-use for voice lines by NPCs or having conversations with another NPC, NPCs talking with NPCs. Sort of like how Skyrim does it and how GTA 5 does it, where you walk past or drive past GTA 5 characters and they say something to you, or they say something about your car, stuff like that. I've added those onto these lines. So they are multi-use. They can be used, they can be changed, and they can be used for multiple things. Voice lines between NPCs, voice lines that are just said by an NPC, observations from an NPC, or actual interactive things that you can see in a text box or that could be said to the player. I broke up the instructions and wrote the narrative on the next slide after I got these instructions. So the open world narrative creation was this. I basically, again, content dumped, and I created some open world narratives so that it could be used in areas that are made for different things, multi-use, as I said before. So sort of like let's see. If a NPC is interacted with, that fourth line there, why do you think they did it? Starting this huge war. It's so selfish. It could be used as a passerby line, or it could be used in a narrative text box if you interact with the NPC, or the NPC could be talking to another NPC saying that. And later on, another line can be written for a reply to that NPC that is speaking to the AI. I'm not exactly sure how that would be able to be done. I'm pretty sure that's a whole new ball game, new things to be added, new things to think about later on. The project lead said that he may end up adding it later, and having this the voice acting be part of the game. But right now, it's not seen in the near future. But maybe if we have extra time, extra hours, and a lot of the core things are in, and what needs to be done is in, then he may consider doing actual voice lines for these, which I'm totally for. I will be the first to volunteer to do these voice lines. So moving on, we got more voice lines. I continue the narrative creation, and I also added on that bottom there. You see oil rig narrative. That is per area. So oil rig sitting in the middle of the water. You got a line like wet and cold. Great way to spend all my hours of hardcore training. That could be again used multi-use. It could be a line that the NPC is saying to another NPC. It could be a line that is in a text box that the NPC says when the player actually interacts with the NPC, and so on and so forth. So I made these to be multi-use. Yeah, so that is where I was at for the narration and where I ended the narration works. So here I had a control list given to me, and the control list I transferred into Illustrator. This was week 2. I was on controls and keyboard graphic layout planning. I just recently got this task, so I didn't do a lot for it, but I at least started it and got it rolling. So I got the base of the control layout. This is going to be the keyboard graphic and layout design I have set up. We also planned to put the journal that I created before in the background. So the background will not be looking like this. This is just a grayscale, so I can get everything on the board, get it all ready to be shifted around, and in the next sprint, week 3 and 4, is when I will be focusing on finishing this graphic with the journal background, which is that journal that I created quite a few months ago. Continuing, this is the control layout part 2. I added a second layer to the base, and this is the layer that will be the base of the keyboard. You can sort of say that that's a keyboard mat that's under the keyboard right there, the gray behind the black box. Then I added a darker gray box on top of it to complete the illusion of a keyboard shape. I added the base ledger, or I added on the base a ledger for the control list, which is just that little rectangle that I added on the bottom, and that will have the list of controls in it under the keyboard shape, as you see right in the top of that rectangle there. And then I started the ledger positioning, which I just put the control list here. I put those there so I can take that and either list all the controls there, or maybe I'll take that and like copy it, put each control in a different spot. But basically I just aligned the text there so I can start putting in the controls, and may add the title to it saying like key or ledger, control ledger, whatever that would have. Or I may just put the controls there, just flat and simple, and then have you know, each control connected to the box down there, or connected on a separate area in the top of it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I have to see which one looks better. But as I create the keyboard, which is that top shape up there on that gray mat, the black and darker gray rectangle, that will have a keyboard actually created. I'm going to be hand creating the keyboard, like all of the little keys, all the letter keys, anything that is being used, I'm going to put on there and see if we want to just have the keys that are going to be used on the sheet, or if we want to have a whole keyboard there just in case we decide to add more keys. But for right now, I think I'm going to do it like I explained, with just the keys that are going to be used. I'll ask the project lead before I make any more work for me, because I want to make sure I can get this to them timely, since controls are something that is really needed. to make sure that players know what they're doing, how they do things. They need to know the controls so they can be able to play the game correctly. Ideally, they'll be finished by the end of sprint 3 to 4. So here's my info, my LinkedIn, my Mastery Journal portfolio, my personal portfolio, which is my website, my YouTube channel, and this presentation video will be in the school video playlist. I have changed it to say school videos and project playlist. So when you're looking for these videos, go right into there, school videos and projects playlist, and all of them are right there, ready for you to use. And yeah, so if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. If you're here for the YouTube channel, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting me, and I hope to do some more videos that are outside of schoolwork, like gaming videos. I know I started a different series right now with a few new games that came out. But anyway, if you're here for the actual stuff, the school stuff, thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to my spiel of all the work that I have done over the past few weeks and all the work that I am planning on in the future. I have a plan to work with some texturing. I don't know if I remember saying that I'm having memory issues lately. I'm sorry if I did, but I'm going to be working on seeing if I could texture some stuff after pulling a item out of Unreal Engine, and just give myself a little bit of a challenge and some extra stuff that I can do on top of things that I already know how to do, because I want to make myself better at more things. And I have to practice those things to be able to actually get into stuff that I want to do, which is modeling and texturing and things like that. Those really are fun for me. And I also got another task that I'm going to be making another cutscene between the first level, I think, and that's from Pearl Harbor into the other location. So I will be also doing that either in the next sprint, or I'm going to be doing that in next month's sprint. We will see how it goes. But right now my focus is the keyboard and finishing the narratives. So yeah, everything is subject to change because controls change all the time. Things are added, things are taken away, and the narration is also added and taken away. So those are all subject to change. So yeah, I'm very excited for the next few weeks of all the work that I'm going to be doing. Again, if you're here for the channel, thank you for your time. And if you're here for the work for school, thank you for your time as well. And we will see you in whatever video I make next, be it a school video or a gaming video. Have a great day.